Part two Learn Life podcast. I'm back with Clyde McKinney Jr. We had to do a part two because it was so much information he was giving us, so much heat. I was like, yo, we got to finish it off. We only did middle school and high school ball, I think, in the first episode. But we kind of recapping. He talked about the ACT and him not passing the ACT. So Oakland, but they revoked your scholarship. Michigan State didn't give you your scholarship because of the grades. Now we're going to prep school. You said you went to three different prep schools. Can you
Mhm.
name them again and tell what happened, like from the prep school? Where?
Well, Brisbane Prep was the first one. That's in Brisbane, Maine.
Okay.
Like in the last one I spoke about, I ended up going, trying to get up there late. They pretty much had all their scholarships and everything given out. I was just, praying for somebody to not come to school for me to get a scholarship up there.
Right.
That's when I went to the 5-star basketball camp, close to the New Jersey, New York area. Ended up getting on with a prep school in Laurinburg, North Carolina.
Okay.
Things didn't fare too well, so I never really played a game out there. Ended up passing my ACT when I was out there, and then I ended up
Oh,
going to another prep school to try to get recruited again, um, called Eldon Prep in Petoskey, Michigan.
back a little bit. How did that feel after you passed that the ACT finally?
Man, honestly, it was like a weight lifted. To be honest with you,
I believe it.
it was just one of those things where it's like I know this was the one thing that was holding me back, and it was like how do I excel forward? And once I passed and got the letter that I passed, it was like, all right, it's go time. And
Right.
from that point on, my recruitment process has started all over. It wasn't the same recruiting where I'm playing every day, and you got me in AAU circuits, you got me in high school. It wasn't that. It was
Right.
just I'm a floating face walking around.
Right, right. No, most definitely. So when you going through these prep schools, none of them old colleges hitting you back up. Y'all lost contact completely. It wasn't no contact at all.
It was contact, but it wasn't. It's that one thing where all I kept hearing was you're a high risk. We
Yeah.
already had you in a position where we can offer you. Most of my schools did come back. I can't lie, most of them came back, but it was just that are we for sure that if we give you a scholarship, you come here next year, are you going to be able to maintain your grades and stay on the court? You know what I mean? So it was more in the sense of, do we really want to offer you a scholarship, or do we move to the next player on our list?
Right.
Um, which if anybody know, anybody, any basketball player or anybody that's realistic with it know that if things don't work out and you a high risk player, ain't no school picking you over a player that they know for a fact that they're going to keep in school and not have to worry about, staying on their grades and being eligible or not being eligible, move to the next player.
No, most definitely. And let them know that the youth know that even if you better, right, they still gonna be like, I'm
For
gonna take the
sure.
guy. I ain't gotta worry about his grades. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's the grades. The grades is the most important thing. I mean, you got to look at it in a situation. Your investment to a college. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna invest 4 years with trying to put you in school and make sure that you can get a degree to make sure that I don't have to worry about losing you in the meantime. It's not like high school where high school when we graduated, if you got ineligible, you sat out a week. That
Yeah.
next week you was back on the court or back on the field.
Right.
Where in college you get ineligible, you out the whole term. You know what I mean? So it's like, do we want to invest that time in saying, hey, all right, you tell us that you're gonna be eligible, but your grades don't prove that. Your history don't prove that. This player got a 2.9, 3.0, 3.2. He's proven that he can do the work.
Right.
Granted, he ain't hit the college field, but at the end of the day, I know for a fact that he's gonna get his work done because his track record proves that.
No, most definitely.
Um,
Yeah. So I want to talk about the prep school in Michigan. How did you? And then after you get done from there, you said when we were talking earlier that it got shut down. What was that all about? How did that happen?
Man, honestly, it was one of them fugazi schools. To be honest with you, when I came back from Laurinburg Prep, a couple of players that I play AAU against ended up hitting me up like, "Yo, we heard you back in town. What you got going on? What you doing? We at school up here. We definitely love to have you come up here." So they ended up hitting me up. During the time, I was really, 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 really cool with Coach Watts, and Coach Watts did a lot of my recruiting. He did a lot of talking to coaches and schools for me at the time. So we didn't have the best conversation at that time, but they reached out to him. He got everything set up. I ended up going up there and we played. I think we might have played maybe 10, 12 games. traveled the whole East Coast. And, during the process of us playing those games, our school got shut down. We was in New Hampshire. We're in New Hampshire and we get done with the game and we find out, all right, road trip over, school closed. We about to take y'all back. Y'all got to, as soon as y'all get back, y'all got 5 days to get y'all stuff out the house and y'all got to get back to the crib.
Just
so
like
it was
that.
like, just like that. No, we can hold off a couple of days. We can try to figure it out. We can try to see if we can, get somebody to sponsor us to put the money into the school. It was more, it's over and done with. Y'all got 5 days once y'all get back to the crib or find y'all ways back home.
So after them 12 games, man, was it anybody recruiting you in that time? Like, was that enough games to show college coaches that, you know what I'm saying, you still had it, or enough for them to evaluate you?
It was and it wasn't, you know what I mean? Because I was the new player. Their season had already started. They already had 4 or 5 games under their belt. So
Good.
I was just I literally came in. I think my second day being at the school, we left. So I was learning the plays as we went. You know what I mean? We would get to the games and through walkthroughs and things like that, I was learning the plays. So, I mean, I got playing time, but I didn't play like how I should have been playing because I didn't know anything. You can't put somebody on the floor and you don't know the plays. It's kind of like you working your way into it. So, I really didn't get the recruitment that I thought I should have got during that time because, of course, I didn't have a body of work to prove it.
No, most definitely. So, okay, after them 5 days, you in New Hampshire. They say 5 days to get your stuff out. You call your mom. You leave the school. So what's next?
Honestly, man, next thing for me was to get a job. I mean, it was basketball was over with for me. You know what I mean? I didn't think about playing basketball. Of course, I knew I could play, but I didn't really want to play. You know what I mean? It was just like, all right, at this point in time, do I still chase a dream after going through everything I've been through? I'm 18 years old. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean, about to turn 19. I'm like, what do I do now? Like, you know what I mean? I can sit in my mom's basement and be a bum, or I can go out and get a job and say, look, I'm a working man and this is my life now. You know what I mean? I got to turn the page. So during that time, I actually turned the page. I was working at Myers Warehouse.
Ooh, shit. Hey, I got a story about Myers Warehouse. All right, I go in there, off subject a little bit. I go in there. All right, it was like, yo, come in for the orientation or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm broke at this time. I need some bread. We go through the freezer. I said, whoa. I was like, this is where we going to be working at? They was like, yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah. Hey, I seen my homeboy. I seen what's his name? Mike Frisbee. He used to play forever, dog. I said, yo, it's straight up in here? He was like, no. That nigga looked me dead in my face and said, no. He's like, bro, it's not straight in here. I said, all right. He was like, all right, man, let's walk to the front. So I guess, he's like, if y'all want the job, y'all good. Y'all can have it. I said, I'll holler at y'all, man. I'm out of here. Like I walked out. I told my mom, I said, man, that job for people who just got out of prison, man. I'm straight.
Man, you funny, bro.
I'm dead serious, bro. I went and found a job like the next week. I said, I can't do it, man.
Yeah, Myers Warehouse is a different breed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
See, I lucked up. I didn't get in the freezer part, man. I was actually in the pallet part. So my homeboy Wazir, Wazir was working at, Myers Warehouse, but he was doing the FHA. Mm-hmm. He was working there since we was in ninth grade almost.
Man, so, all the Zoes worked there, man.
Yeah, big time. Yep. Nobody, all of them was working in there. So they actually were the ones that got me on, but they got me on through the Myers Warehouse part. But little did I know the Myers Warehouse part that I was doing compared to what they was doing was unloading trucks. I was picking pallets. So, when it was orders coming in, I was getting the orders. I was going up and down the aisles, packing the orders, and when you got done, you had to, get the wrap, spin around the orders, man. And I'm like, all right, I guess. And the crazy part about you had a time limit to get this shit done. So it was like,
I know.
I was in that mode running, trying to get things done. I'm like, bro, this is not the life I'm about to live, man.
Man, not at all, bro. I seen it. It don't take me long to get it. When I see it, I just got the chill on my body that said leave. This is not for me. Leave. I'm leaving.
Oh man.
No, but okay. So you get a job. So how long was like? How long are you working for? And what's going on? Is anybody contacting you? Any schools contacting you or what?
Nah, honestly, bro. I think the one coach I talked to the most at the time was a coach from Canisius. And then it was a coach at Idaho State. You know, they stayed with me throughout the whole period of time. Honestly, they even stayed with me while I was at my freshman year. When I went to the D school at Ferris,
Right.
they stayed up on me. You know what I mean? They stayed communicating with me, trying to talk to me, trying to figure out my next move. Is this where you stand at? You're not a Division II basketball player, so are you staying in this position, or are you trying to excel some higher? You know, you finally got the door open to be in school. Where we go from here? So I was talking to them. And to be completely frank, man, like my ACT score that I got wasn't high enough for me to go D1. It was high enough. I was clear to go D2 with no issue. So what happened was while I was working at Myers Warehouse, man, I remember I literally was at my breaking point. I'm like, man, I'm about to quit, man. I ain't about to do this job. Where I go find something else.
I feel you.
I just got off work, man. I got a phone call from the Ferris State coach. He called me like, hey, you know, we got about 4 or 5 Lansing players coming up here. You know, we just want to see if you come up here and do a workout. Get into the up and down with my players. We just want to see if you got it. You know what I mean? You haven't played basketball in a long period of time. We just want to see what you can do and if you still can do it. So I took the trip. You know what I mean? I took the trip. I think it was me, Muhammad, LZ Bibbs, Nate Duncan. It was a few of us. We all went up there, you know.
That was loaded,
Yeah.
Right.
We went up there. We all went up there, man. I did a little basketball play with him. I did my thing, man, and I walked out the gym. He offered me a scholarship at that moment. Like, you know, you still got it. Like, you're still a high-level player. I would love to have you come here. And at the point in time, for me, it's like, shoot, I'm working at Myers Warehouse. Ain't nobody else really talking about like that, man. I'm going to do it. So I jumped on the first thing smoking. It was either that or LLC. And, you know, at the time, you go to LLC, that's Last Chance College, is what everybody calls it.
LCC. You've been going for Lansing so long. Yeah, right.
Man,
listen. So long, you don't even know the school no more, man.
Yeah, so it's a school out here called LLC. My bad.
Right. No,
but it was called Last Chance College. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, man, do I go to LCC and be talked about, or do I just go to Ferris State? If I know if I go to LCC, I can get a D1 scholarship. I know I'm gonna come out there and be back on my rocker, or I can go here and, you know, I'm playing. I ain't got to worry about nothing. The ball in my hand. They had just made it to, you know, two conference tournaments. Won the conference tournaments, made it to the tournament. So it's like, you know, senior guard, he had just left. So they looking for a replacement. They need a point guard. It fits me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do it. So I ended up going.
Go ahead.
No, I ended up signing the Ferris during that period of time. So that was my get back on trying to play basketball again.
Okay. So the LCC thing, was it like kind of embarrassing for you to try to go there? Like, you was like, nah, I ain't messing with it, dog. Because it's like, yo, you know, that just add, you know, salt to the wound. Like, dog, I didn't get to the school. Now I'm going to LCC. Everybody going to be talking shit in my hometown. You know what I mean? And plus, back then they were good. I don't know how they are now, but they were always ranked in the nation all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. And we didn't know that. I wish I would have knew when I was in high school. It's junior colleges like that all over the nation. You feel me?
Yes.
Like, I ended up going to a junior college in Kansas called Highland. I went to a couple. I went to that one, and I went to one in Minnesota. But, you know, they got dorms. They got all that. So
everything.
Yeah, and you could have went somewhere. You could have went anywhere. But we didn't know. We didn't know.
For sure.
And when nobody telling us nothing.
I think for me, and I mean, I've recently apologized that, you know, Coach Ingram, you know, because he's still the coach there. He was coach at the time. And I told him, I said, I should have rethought everything. And I wish I knew what I knew now back then, because I would have went to LCC and did what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? And got my true recruitment to how I should have got it. You know what I mean? But with me looking at it, it's like I go from the newspaper article, them saying I didn't make it to school. I go from one prep school to another prep school to another prep school. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, all right, I'm not getting the recruitment. I'm not that big name. I don't have that clout no more. So it's like, then it goes from the scholarship talk. You know, of course, Jonathan ended up signing to Oakland because, of course, I didn't fulfill my part of the bargain. So you got all of these things weighing on you. Then you go to LCC, and then you know how the city is. So everybody in the city, Jonathan stole Clyde's scholarship, and he couldn't go to Oakland. So now he had LCC, and it's like, nah, that wasn't the situation. My situation was different. So I took Ferris over going to LCC because I didn't want to hear the inner city thing. And plus, LCC, man, come on, bro. Like, growing up, you don't want to go to no LCC. It's like, you know what I mean? That's your last chance. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I knew JUCO was the way a lot of top players or people went to school and ended up getting into college that way because of their circumstances, I would have did it. It'd have been no questions asked. I'd have said, look, I'm gonna just forget the outside noise. I'm gonna go here and do what I got to do and get to where I got to get to. And my college career probably would have ended up different. A lot of things probably would end up different, to be honest with you.
No, most definitely, dog. And I'm glad you said that because a lot of kids think like that now. They think that JUCO route is like, beneath them and they don't really need it. And I'll be like, bro, I was trying to help some kids and I was like, yo, you're not getting no offers, bro. You was a player that was getting offers. These kids don't get no offers. They was like, man, I ain't going to JUCO. I said, all right, was it Buy Warehouse is hiring right now, man? You can go fill out the application.
All you gotta do is walk through.
Hey, yeah, do what you do. But it's some that see now, they see me and they be like, man, I should have went this and this and that. I'll be like, man, but they don't know. They're young, like we didn't know, and they embarrassed.
I think it's the pressure of realizing that you doing something that everybody talks down on.
Yeah.
Opposed to realize you're doing it for yourself and you're not doing it for everybody else. You realize that it's the pressure of everybody saying this is a bad choice, opposed to realizing that it's not as bad as what you think it is. It's actually a good choice. It's just you don't see it in your mind as that because the other times when you did get recruited, it was by a bigger school. Or if you didn't get recruited, it's like, all right, so if I didn't get recruited, I don't have no hope of going somewhere else. Because if I go here, how are they gonna find a better chance for me to get somewhere and not realizing that they develop you way more than your high school did, and now you might hit your peak years in JUCO, and now you hit your peak years in JUCO. JUCO gonna take you further than what you would have got in high school.
Man, you get so much exposure in JUCO. Man, it's crazy. When I was down there for spring ball in Kansas, they call that a Division I JUCO. I was down there, man. My roommate, he was a track star. He went to Iowa State. No, he went to Iowa. And then I had another roommate from Miami. He ended up going to Alabama. Another one went to Kansas State. And like people were just getting shipped out. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I never seen nothing like this. Off subject a little bit, that boy Justin Wells that played defensive end for us.
Yeah.
He went to that school.
He went JUCO.
Yep, he went JUCO, and like next year that he went, I seen he was like the top 100 JUCO players in the nation. I said, bro, I used to block this dude every day. You know what I'm
UAB.
saying? Yep. He could have went to Louisville. He could have went to a couple other schools, but he wanted to stay close to home and stuff. But it's just like that. It's like so much opportunity out there that like our people don't know about, and that's why I try to push it, and we trying to push it out there to help you realize like, yo, the world is bigger than Lansing, yo. You gotta go see something. Like, quit being scared to leave home, all that. So, okay, we're gonna talk about Ferris State a little bit. You go to Ferris State. Do you end your career, your hoop career? Do you end your hoop career there, or what goes on at Ferris State once you get there? Because I went there too for a month, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, so Ferris was cool, man. Honestly, I messed myself up when it came to Ferris State. Right. I went to Ferris in the summertime. School was always my biggest thing. So what Ferris coach did for me was that summer of 2006, 2007, he had me come up there for the summertime. I took summer classes.
Right.
So a lot of people don't know when you're a freshman in college, your first year, you can get below a 2.0 and still play that second half of the semester. So that first half of the year, you got to maintain within your first two semesters, you got to maintain above a 2.0. Yeah. So what happened with me with Ferris, I ended up getting eligible my second half of the year. I went to the summer. I did summer classes. I think I took 2 classes in summer class. I failed. I dropped. I think I either failed or dropped one, and I got a C or a C minus in the second one. So now I'm already teetering on the line.
Yeah.
So that first semester, I ended up playing the first semester. I started. I played good. Grades was doing bad still because I was there for basketball. I wasn't there for nothing else. Basketball, and I was partying. I was always a party person, so I'm like, look, Ferris had parties. It was nothing else to do at Ferris but the party. And Big Rapids been in Big Rapids. Right. So you had that party, basketball. That's what I would go to class. I would try to get somebody in class to do my homework or try to see who I can cheat off on if we had a little test. you know, I had my ways of trying to get by, not realizing like, all right, you got to do something to get yourself by because
Right.
it was a teacher, my English teacher, at the time up there. She was actually from Lansing. So, you know, when we end up sitting down trying to figure out my grades going into that second half of the year, she had told me like, Clyde, you're not really doing enough for me to say I can give you that grade of what you need. Like the teacher was willing to work with me, but I didn't work with them for them to help me out. Um, but I ended up getting into it with the coach, honestly, man. So what ended up happening was we had a game. The coach ended up saying something to my mom. And when he said something to my mom, you know how I am when it comes to my mom, I'm overprotective. I try to fight my coach.
He said something
I
like
ended up,
what?
man, I can't remember what was said or what happened. It was something about my grades. I know it was that.
But it was a tone of
Um,
voice he said it in, or
it was the tone of voice he said it in, and I found it disrespectful.
right.
So, and it was in front of everybody. It was in front of the whole team, everybody. So I lashed out. So since I lashed out at that point in time, I'm kicked off the team. You know what I mean? So
Damn,
like
yeah.
now I'm ineligible for one. And then for two, I'm talking back. I got something smart to say. So at that point in time, it's like, look, you know, you can finish up this year. You're still on scholarship. Finish up the year. Go home. After this point in time, you're not a part of the program no more. So I didn't go to practices. I was just a student on the campus, and I was just there. You know what I mean? So Ferris was my eye opener to it all. You know what I mean? It was my eye opener to realize that, all right, look, you can't just breeze through school. It ain't gonna happen like
Yeah,
that.
right.
I ended up leaving Ferris. I don't know if you want to go into this part or not, but
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
left
yeah.
Ferris, my sister, Octavia, she was having a baby. During the time, I still had the option. I had an opportunity still to go to Iowa State, but I had to go to LCC that summertime to get some credits in order for me to go to Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa
So I
State.
had
It seems. What is it about Iowa State? They always seem like they give people like their first offer, or they always like offering in this area. You know what I mean? And they turn that football program around too. They
for
some
sure.
dogs now.
I think Iowa State, man, they know it's hard to recruit. You know what I mean? Like if I come to you right now, granted you don't have all the knowledge that you have. I come to you right now and be like, hey, the D1 school, Iowa State, it's out. You're away from everybody. You know, would you want an opportunity to come play? You're like they're willing to offer pretty much almost anybody. You know what I mean? If you can play a little bit, they're trying to find a way to turn themselves around. So
No, yeah,
if
no,
I
most
come to you with
definitely.
that offer, you gonna be like, all right, I might do it. You know what I mean? I can't get here or the place I want to get to, so I'm gonna take this opportunity because it's there. And
Yeah.
plus, that coach and the coach from Canisius was the only two coaches that I could say that literally stayed by my side like throughout it all. Like the fair situation, the prep school situation, like they literally stayed in contact with me. Um,
Canisius, where is that at?
Canisius, I believe it's in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. They got some
Um,
hoopers out there. No, yeah.
yeah, but he ended up getting another job the year I was leaving Ferris. So when he got his other job, of course, he ain't got the same backing to be like, all right, I got a player that's on the fence of everything. I'm gonna bring him in with me. It ain't gonna work that way. He wasn't the head coach. He was just the assistant coach.
Right, right.
Um, so when it boiled down to it, it was Iowa State. Get your grades up, get these credits. That way you can transfer in. I ended up going to LCC for some summer classes. Dropped out of my summer classes.
He was
I'm
out
just,
here
you know,
wild. He was
I'm
out,
hard headed,
bro.
man.
You was out here wilding. I didn't know you was out here
I'm
wilding.
Nah, I was just hard headed, bro. Like I was hard headed to the fact of this is how it works. You know what I mean? I was always used to the Everett way where it was like everything was given to you. You know what I mean? So it's like, however, we got to find a way to get you there. We'll try to get you there. So I'm looking like, all right, they'll find a way. You know what I mean? Like no matter what happened, they will find a way. You know what I mean? And not realizing that I got to put some type of effort in. If I put no effort into it, ain't no way gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna come out of it.
Yeah.
So I end up not going to LCC. I didn't get the credits I needed. So I ended up going to the school that my sister was at, which is Indiana Tech, where I ended up finishing everything off at. I ended up going there. I
Okay.
think I said I've had to because I didn't have the credits and my GPA wasn't high enough. I ended up having to sit out the first half of the year. So when I go there, I sit out the first half of the year. I think they record during the time when I set out, they was maybe 10. They was like a 500 team.
Yeah.
I ended up playing the second half of the season with them. We ended up going to the tournament and everything. We ended up losing. I think we lost two games, three games the entire time I played with them. So we ended
Wow.
up going from a 500 team into above 500 team. So me, of course, I am who I am. I got a big head. Like this shit too easy. I refuse to play here.
They let's talk about that. Indiana Tech is division what?
They NAID too.
Okay, the NAIAD too. So
the NAID too.
So did you feel like, man, this is beneath me, dog?
Beneath me. Beyond beneath me, bro. It's beyond. I mean, the competition wasn't the same. You know, I'm getting in the game and I'm making a major contribution to contribute to everything that we doing. So it's like if I'm getting into the game and I'm literally changing the way the game is played, and you know, we actually succeeding. Like, man, what I look like coming on the floor playing with these dudes? Man, these dudes ain't even good. Like, it's Michigan Dearborn, Cornerstone, like teams that you like, man, they got a basketball program, and we playing teams in Michigan. And I'm like, bro, I ain't never heard of these schools.
You was giving them buckets?
No, honestly, man, because we had a senior. We had 3 seniors on the team, and then we had a couple people that was returning that was freshmen the following year before, and they had started. So, I was just really the facilitator. You know what I mean? I got my buckets here and there, but I was a facilitator and I was a defensive anchor. So I played D and I facilitated for everybody. Scoring wasn't in my mentality at that point in time, because it's like, shoot, I'm not about to try to come out here and go for 30 or 40. And it's like, these niggas already got their name. This nigga already averaged 20. He already averaged 15. Now, if you get me out here trying to score 20 and 15, I'm taking away from what they already got going on, which takes away the chemistry of the team. Now, granted, they already getting smacked. But at the whole time when they was getting smacked while I was sitting down and they still average what they averaging, if I come out there and try to do that as well, we only gonna continue to get smacked. Mm-hmm. I was able to pick apart what was needed to help them get over the hump. Right. So it's like, you know, I'm seeing them lose games, and it's like you got people where it's like dude open in the corner and he want to shoot the jump shot. It's like, all right, you can hit that jump shot, but he hit it at a better rate. Let's swing the ball one time. So if you swing it to him, he knocked down an open jump shot. It's a higher percentage shot. So I'm peeping things like that. So when I got on the floor, as opposed to me taking those jump shots, I'm swinging the ball. So now the flow of everything is moving better. So now we're actually winning games because you got somebody that's unselfish when everybody else was selfish.
You're right.
So that helped out through Indiana Tech.
Motherfucking IQ, man. That's the IQ, man. Nah, most definitely. Yeah. So after you do that year there, and you was like, man, this is too easy. So what's going on in the second year?
Second year. So this is going into my junior year. So play at Indiana Tech. I'm like, all right, this is too easy. Let me try to find another route. You know, at that point in time, my clock is running out.
Yeah,
I can't go D1. I can't go D1. So it's like I can't go back. I can go back D2, but it's like, is it really worth going back D2 in this situation? Right. So the next step was to try to find something else. So the coach that had coached at Indiana Tech before I got there, Jason Klein, was at Park University in Kansas City, Missouri. So Herschel was out there. So Herschel ended up going to LCC, left LCC, went out to Park University. So now I got 2 people I know. The AD of my school, son coaches there, and my homeboy from who I was younger, I've known all my life, is going out there as well too. So now they're lobbying like, hey bro, come out here, leave here. You already seen what you can do here. So in my mindset, it's like, I'm gone. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you want me to come there, I'm going, I'm coming. So he ended up offering me the scholarship. Bam, my first thing smoking. I moved to Missouri. I go to Missouri and play out there in Missouri. I started in Missouri. I started at Park University and everything, you know. Started out there. I got ineligible again.
You're just not a school person, man. It's okay.
I'm not, man.
Yeah, no,
I'm not.
It's some people that's not school people, and I know that. I wasn't really one. I had 2.5 or some shit like that. So
yeah, it wasn't that, bro. I just didn't apply myself. That's all it was. Like me, it came down to understanding how to apply yourself.
Yeah,
like I wasn't there for school. I knew I had to go to school, but I wasn't. My mindset wasn't school. It's like I'm hooping. Like school is not my worry. It's not my main thing that I'm worried about while I'm here. I'm gonna go to school because I gotta be there. I'm gonna make it to every class. I'm gonna be in every class. I'm not gonna listen to class. But I'm here for basketball. I'm ready for basketball practice. And then if it's not basketball practice, where's a side gym so I can go get some shots up, or I can try to see if they run it. I'm in season trying to play with niggas that's just at school, not playing. I'm just trying to hoop. That's all I was there for.
So every situation you got in with the grades thing, did you think like, yo, it's gonna work itself out? It's gonna work itself out. Yeah.
Every situation, bro. Because I was right on the cusp of being eligible and not being eligible. So it's like, in a Park situation, it wasn't eligibility far as it was GPA. It
Mm-hmm.
was the credits
Right.
because you take more classes just in case you drop classes.
Right. Right.
I went behind my coach back and dropped classes.
Oh man.
So that's where I messed up. Is I went behind because I knew I was about to fail these classes. So it's like, do I fail them or do I drop them? I'm gonna drop them. So me dropping classes, I didn't have enough credits in order to be able to be eligible to play the next semester.
Really?
So that alone, and I'm already got a low GPA. It's like, hey, bro, what you doing?
Your mom, I know your
So
mom cussed you out, boy.
man, listen, it was on my neck, bro. I mean, it was. What are you doing? You getting all these opportunities. What are you doing? But I
Yeah.
knew out of all of it, man. I'll be honest. I knew that I will always have an opportunity. So it's like me just knowing that. All right, I keep getting these opportunities. I keep getting this opportunity, even though I'm ineligible. I'm gonna get another opportunity. Like
Yeah.
opportunity is gonna come. Like it's gonna be available. Like I know for a fact I'm gonna get another opportunity.
Right. That's another. I'm glad you're saying that too, because that's another thing I want to push is like you can't cheat the grind. You have
Mm-hmm.
to go through it. You have to do stuff you don't want to do. You
Big
have
facts.
to get up. Like it's different because it's some high schools that prepare you for that. You know what I mean? 5 o'clock workouts. You go through school all day. Then after that, you got study table and this and that. It's
Yeah,
people that like, but with where we was at, what I'm saying, I'm trying to blame everything on a school we at, but it's like
they don't
we
focus on that.
hooping, you playing football. That's it. You feel me?
That should
And
go. That's what you're here for.
right, you're doing school, whatever. Weightlifting wasn't even really probably mandatory like that because when I was there, it was like, yo, all right, you can go, but there was nobody like really. If you was good, nobody was really taking your position. I don't know,
Yeah.
football field at least. You know what I'm saying? So okay, you were ineligible. Is this Park University?
Mm-hmm.
So you find out you ineligible. What what now? What did you tell your mom and what happened after that?
It was back to the job, bro. Honestly, I
You
mean,
came back up here to
back to
work
the
at Myers
job.
Warehouse?
Nah, hell no.
I was about to say, boy, woo, boy, you might as
Nah,
well got in
I
the
was I
street.
was back.
That's one.
Nah, I
That's
was back to the job,
one.
bro. I was
Right,
back to the job. So it was like I'm ineligible.
right.
I can't go to practice. I can't travel with the team. I'm still in school. So it's like, all right, get your schoolwork done. Let's try to get back eligible.
Yeah,
Work your way back getting eligible. So at this point in time, it's like, all right, take this school shit serious. Like this shit has been taken away from you twice in 3 years. And it's like, you only got maybe 3 semesters that you played basketball in 3 years. So it's like take this shit serious. Actually get your school and shit together so that way you can play. So I end up going to school for that second half of the semester. I end up getting back eligible. So I end up getting my grades, getting my credits, doing everything I needed to do. But at that point in time, it was like you're not on the team no more. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I wasn't welcome back to the team, but I wasn't on the team, so everything didn't matter. So now it's like, all right, we bringing in more recruits. So he brought in more recruits throughout the summertime. I'm still with him playing basketball with the summertime. Brought in more recruits, and it's like, all right, so what do you plan to do? We had to sit down. What are you planning to do? Are you going to get your grades together? Are you going to keep your grades up? You know what I mean? So now it's the talk where it's like, look, this is your final straw. Like you can go through summer classes. If you can get your grades up in summer classes, you can stay aboard. If you can't, you're more than welcome to go. You got to find something else to do.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
think I ended up started working at Target. And at that point in time, I gave basketball up again. I said, look, I'm done with this, bro. I'm about to just work at Target.
You was at Target in
Um,
Missouri or
in Missouri. I was living in
okay?
Missouri. So I ended up staying in Missouri by myself. Like I was like, I ain't coming back to the crib. I refuse to go back to Lansing. I already screwed up multiple times. I go back to the crib. I'm labeled as a failure just like everybody else. So it's
Yeah,
like I'm gonna just stay here. I ain't gonna worry about it. Let everybody say what they gotta say. I'm gonna just stay in Missouri. So I'm working at Target, and I think my cousin Dominique, that from Battle Creek, he ended up getting killed. So when he ended up getting killed, I was like, all right, I'm too far away from my family. Like I'm not there if something happened to be there for my family or to even just be able to see my family in a situation where something happened. Like I got to deal with it on my own, and I ain't got nobody I can go to and be like, hey, I need to talk. I just need to sit down. Shit, sometimes even as a black man, most people won't admit it. Shit, you might need a hug, just somebody to be able to say, hey, bro, everything cool. I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have
No,
it.
most definitely.
So I end up leaving Park in the summertime. And I'm like, look, I can always go back to Indiana Tech. Like they know who I am. They know what I do. You know what I mean? Like I can go back to this school and play. So I end up leaving after my cousin died, moved all my stuff literally that night. He died that night, packed my car up, left, moved back to Indiana. So my first son's mom, Dominique, she was living in Indiana at the time. So I had somewhere to go. So I ended up moving in with her. And I enrolled myself in the school. They didn't even know I was coming back to Indiana Tech. I enrolled myself back in the school. I ain't talked to the coach. I ain't played basketball that year when I came back to Indiana Tech. It was the focus on grades because grades was my issue. So, I didn't have no communication with nobody that was coming back. It was like, look, get your grades together. Let's try to graduate. And then that following year you can play. So that whole year after I left Park and I went back to Indiana Tech, I didn't play. I just literally went to school. I was a student.
Yeah. And so you get your grades and stuff all together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you talking to the coach at this time while you just a regular student?
He talking to me more in a sense like, bro, why didn't you tell me coming back? Like I'd literally say the roster spots for you. You know what I mean? The roster spot. So our assistant coach, the year that I played there, ended up getting a head coach job that year.
Right.
So he like, yo, why didn't you tell me coming back? Like I'd have got you on the squad. You'd have been cool. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And I'm like, yo, this ain't the year. I just needed to get everything together. Like a lot of things happened. I figured you already had the team. Like I figured, that following year, I'll come and I'll holler at you and you would give me my spot. You lobbied basically the year I came and helped out the team when we made it to the tournament. You was the coach that was always lobbying. We need to put Clyde in the game. We need to put Clyde in the game. We need to Clyde. So I'm figuring, no matter what, you see me here, I'm gonna get my spot. I'm gonna be able to play. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right now, I got to get my grades in order for me to play. If I ain't got my grades, it ain't nothing else gonna matter because my grades has always been my downfall. Yeah. So wow. I didn't play that whole year. The following, go ahead.
Go ahead. You can keep talking. The following year, this is your what? Junior or senior year that's coming?
It's supposed to be my senior year.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's supposed to be my senior year.
Okay.
So that whole year I sat out, and then I ended up playing. With NAIA, you ain't got no time clock. You're gonna be 45 and walk up to the corner, like, hey, I'm here. What up?
Yeah.
So I sit out the whole year. That following year, I come back. End up not coaching. He ended up losing his job, or I think he ended up quitting. I can't remember the exact situation what happened, but he ended up losing his job or quitting. We didn't get a whole new coach come in. So he come in. Granted, I didn't play the following year, so he don't know who I am either. You know what I mean? I'm just a kid coming in the gym like, hey, I played here a couple years ago. I'm just trying to play again. So he was actually the Memphis Grizzlies defensive coach.
Really?
So he coached under I forgot the black dude that coached at Alabama a long time ago. He coached with him a long time ago. He was a real good coach, real good coach.
Right.
So when he came in with his players. He brought 5 or 6 players. He like, yo, these is my players. Y'all pick and choose. Like everybody have a chance. Nobody's spot's guaranteed. Y'all can pick and choose how y'all gonna play. But these my 5 players I'm running with. So he came in with players that was all D1 transfers. Everybody he brought came from a D1 school.
Right.
So you already know, like, if you ain't played and you've been in the squad, but the new coach come in and he bring 5 players in, that's a starting lineup. Brought a starting lineup in.
Was they cut like that? Was they cut like that?
Oh, I would say 3 of them was truly cut like that.
Yeah.
The one dude, he never really got to play because he had a couple, like, he had other things with schooling that stopped him from playing, so he never really got to play. But out of all of them, he was the best one. Like, he was legit. He was from Chicago. He was a point guard. If I knew I had a problem with anybody in the court, it was gonna be him because he was gonna give me a challenge for me not to be able to get on the floor. And so that was my work. That was like, and he wasn't no slouch. He was a D1 guard. He came from a D1 school. Yeah. He was legit. Like, he gave me fits in practice. Like, he was one of them guards where I couldn't figure out. So it's like, I'm telling myself, like, damn, this nigga ain't about to let me get on the floor. But it's like, I'm going every day and I'm still competing. Like, nah, I ain't going for that because, like, where I come from, like, you know what I mean? You don't just give up because somebody getting the upper hand on you. You fight back. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna get mine. So it came down to it. The starting guards was either me and him. It was all right. He kept trying to figure out his 2 guard was, he ended up moving his 2 guard to the 3. Then his other 3 ended up coming off the bench because me and dude was battling. So you can't really sit neither one of us down because we battling, you know what I mean? Yeah. It ain't just like where he's over talented than me, where it's like, I got to put you behind him. I can use him at the 2 because he can shoot, and then he can use me at the 2 because I can shoot. So the other dude he brought in, big fella, he ended up playing for the Oklahoma City Thunder D-League team. And then the other guard came from Utah. He ended up going overseas playing in Australia. So, he brought in dogs. He brought in people that can play.
And that's crazy at the NAIA level. I know y'all was giving people fits. I know they was like, man, where these kids come from, man? How y'all
Man,
how
believe
y'all
it or
do
not,
that season?
we didn't make it to the tournament, bro.
Oh, y'all
That
chemistry was
was
off.
chemistry was way off, bro. Like I'm talking about where you got a new coach coming in, you got new players coming in, you got players that's been 3 year starters already. Man, niggas ain't trying to hear like, oh, I got to come off the bench or I got to sit behind this dude. Like that was probably one of the most confrontational teams I've ever been on. Like by far, one of the most confrontational teams I've ever been on.
Right.
You had buddy ball. Like usually as a college team, y'all stick together. Like we had it to the point where we was cool when it came to practice, but we also feuded in practice because somebody else is getting more playing time than the other person. So when you left out of practice, NAIA is a small school. Everybody pretty much at the NAIA school is there for sports. So you're not there really for school. You got some people, but you're really there for sports. So when you left off the court, you got 4 people over there, 4 people over here, 2 people over there, 3 people over there, 2 people over there. And it's like, all right, now you got your side conversations. I don't really fuck with buddy. I ain't really cool with buddy. Like I ain't this, I ain't that. So the off court stuff hindered us from being as good as we could have been. We missed the tournament by literally 1 game. I don't know. It was probably one of the worst things that, like, out of my senior year of playing with the team I played with my senior year, I understood that came from a lot of immaturity. But coming from to this level of basketball and where some of the people played at and came from, it was more of hate more than anything else. So I think with that team, that hindered us from being as good as we could have been. Because I think if we'd have got into the tournament and we'd have played in the tournament, bro, we really could have won.
How did you do individually?
I made all conference. I was the only guard. I think it was 2 guards out of all the whole time. It was a big man. We had a bunch of big men that was good, but I ended up making all conference. I led the team in pretty much every category you could name besides blocks, rebounds, and fouls. But steals, points, assists, assist to turnover ratio. I led the team in literally every category you can name.
Do you remember your numbers at that time?
I think I averaged 14.6 points. Okay. Maybe I think 6 assists or 5 assists, and I think maybe 4 or 5 rebounds.
That's what's up, man.
But I led the nation that year. I led the nation in 3-point shooting majority of the year. I was either in between number 1 and number 1 or number 5. But I shot 44% from 3 my senior year of college.
That's almost everything going in that boy.
Yeah. I hit. I think I hit close to 100 threes that year. I was knocked down.
You was letting them go, huh?
Man, listen, and I ain't get no plays ran from me. Most of my stuff came off of either somebody driving and kicking, or me just getting it out the mud. Like,
yeah,
it was that.
Okay, so after you feel all the hate and everything, after the basketball season is over and y'all didn't make the tournament, what goes on after that? Like, do y'all hang out or do the team come together and like, we about to get it the next year, or everybody stay separated?
Everybody stay separated, bro. It was over with at that point in time. Like, I'm off the team. Like, I mean, not off the team, but my career over. My college career is done. So it's like I go my way. I had my son that year, so it's like I go my way, do what I got to do. I still think I keep in contact with one of my teammates throughout that whole period of time. You know what I mean? And that's the only person I talked to from that whole team. But yeah, everybody went their separate ways. Everybody did what they had to do. Everybody knew that following year, since he had already brought in 5 people, he was going to recruit again to bring in more people, which that following year, after I was done playing basketball, he brought in a whole new team, basically.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was.
And that's good that you telling them that, because that's how college work, man. A coach can switch on you at any time. Mm-hmm. They can bring in players. They can promise you this and this and that. You get there and you won't see, the court or the field. So
big time.
It's a dirty game, man. You got to really keep your eyes open for that. So that's why I tell kids, man, do what's best for you and your family, and make sure you know what you're getting into, this recruiting game, because it's real dirty. So, okay, you done with the college ball. You have your son. So no aspirations of playing at the next level, overseas or anywhere.
Yeah, it was always, the goal was always to get overseas, man. Like, I mean, I knew I had a talent. I'm coming from a smaller school. Things a little bit different now than it was back then. Coming from a smaller school, you got to really put up them numbers. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
had all Americans that was going NAI that wasn't really getting overseas. So I'm a small guard. Like I got numbers. I got the accolades. I got everything I needed. Only thing I didn't make was all American. So I got a coach that's fighting for me. I got my talent that's fighting for me. But it's like, do I go overseas? I got a newborn son. Do I try to really fight that hard to go overseas? Do I just finish school? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just finish school. So I get back into school for to try to finish up. I'm in my last year of school. An ABA team at Lima, Ohio had just started. So my homeboy that I keep in contact with ended up going. He ended up signing a contract. He graduated, so he's about to sign a contract. So he hit me up like, bro, you got to come. Like, you know what I mean? They're not offering $1,000 for a contract. They offering good money for a contract. So for me, it's like, shit, I got a son. I'm in school. I don't get that Pell money. So ain't no refund. Like, I don't get none of this stuff no more. So it's like, all right, do I stay in school, struggle, or do I go get this little chip that they giving over there, and I'm still 30, 40 minutes away from my son? I leave school in the middle of the semester.
What is it?
Talking about literally.
Can you talk numbers? What was the numbers they was offering?
I signed for 14,000. 14,000. Yeah, I signed for 14,000. So I'm like,
that's really unheard of for like a semi-pro or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really unheard of. I don't know how hoop
works.
But
the thing was, man, I'll tell you what happened with that team. That kind of folded as well too. Like he built the team off of, I don't know if you know Jamar Butler. He played at Ohio State with Greg Oden and all of them.
Yeah.
So he was from Lima, Ohio. So he built that team off of them players, like off of the hometown player. Like he had some real good sponsorships. A car dealership sponsored them. A couple other places like restaurants sponsored them because it's a small city. So a bunch of sponsors came through. So he offered hella big contracts to a lot of people. He put us in a crib. He paid for everything for the crib, paid our rent. Ooh. He did everything. All we had to do was go there and hoop. You know what I mean? We had a workout. We had to go work out at a certain time. We had practice at a certain time. But he paid for everything that we had to do. Put beds in the crib, bought TVs, paid all the bills, everything. You know what I mean? So like my mindset is I'm gonna go get this little chip. I'm gonna be able to take care of my family. I'm not too far from my son. I'm not overseas. So I do that. We playing that little season. Like I said, things backfired on that as well too. So because he had so big of contracts that he offered to everybody, you had this one player where I think the dude Jamar, he signed the biggest contract out of all of us. They gave him a car, everything else. So when he needed the attendance of the games to be high to make the money to be able to pay the players. So because it's a small town, it's a semi-pro team, it's the first year, you're not getting those numbers. So what he projected to get wasn't what we got. So when it started coming down to like people getting their money, he wasn't paying. So instead of paying us our money, it was like, all right, can y'all hold off another week? Can y'all hold off another month? Because ticket sales didn't sell this year or this game. So we want to try to project this next game. We got a team that's coming in as ranked. We end up getting ranked in the ABA during that year as well too. So we got 2 ranked teams. We can really pull up this to bring in more people so we can pay y'all next time. So it kept getting to next time, to the point factor. I was like, man, I can't wait no more. Like I ain't getting no money. Like I gotta go.
He didn't give y'all nothing?
I gotta take care of. I got paid some of the money. I ain't get paid all of the money, but it got to the point where I left. So when I left, I ended up going back to Indiana and working. So when I got back to Indiana and working, I ended up getting to the point where I told him, like, look, bro, it's either you pay me or I sue you, because I got a legal document. This is it's a legal document. You know what I mean? Like what we signed isn't just no little document. You know what I mean? He had lawyers there, everything. You know what I mean?
I'll sue your ass.
Listen, hey, bro, I was at the point where it's like I'm broke. I'm struggling. I got a kid. I gotta find a way to take care of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, look, either you pay me this, we can settle for this, or I sue you for the whole thing. You know what I mean? How you want to do it? Like we can settle, and I won't go through with the process. Granted, I probably didn't know the first lawyer to call to try to sue him for it. But my mindset is I'm gonna play a mindset to tell you, look, bro, either you pay me or I sue you. You know what I mean? Most people don't want to be in a lawsuit. You know what I mean? So he was like, all right, I'll pay you. So he ended up paying me $5,000. And that was my final part of my contract. So out of what I signed for, I think I maybe only got $6,500. So I didn't really get all my money, but I got at least $6,500 from what I signed for. So I was cool with it, but it wasn't no money. So I ended up going back to Indiana. Going back to Indiana with my son and my son's mom, and I just worked at that point in time. I worked, and I knew it was some basketball camps that was coming up in the summertime that gave opportunities to play in front of college overseas scouts to be able to get overseas. So I ended up playing in those.
Yeah, that was the next question I was gonna ask you. How does that overseas thing work if you're trying to get overseas? Do you have to be invited to the workout, or is it open to everybody?
So some of them are invitation only. The ones
Those
that's
are
invitation only
those,
is the ones that where it's like you guaranteed going overseas.
okay,
Like
okay.
invitation only, you literally you in a position where it's like you got the talent, they just got to put you in front of the face, and they know that based off your talent, they can get the right amount of people in the room to get you that opportunity.
You're right.
Now there are ones where you pay for. So the ones I went to, I ended up paying for them. I paid out of pocket. Like I
Yeah.
said, I was working, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pay for these joints. I know I can play. I just got to be seen. I just got to be put in the right position to be seen. So,
Right,
granted, I
right,
still
right.
have my coach working. My coach working for me, even though I'm not playing for him. He's still working for me. So he telling me which ones to go to. And then a couple of my teammates from Lima that I played with, they're like, all right, we going to this one. So we end up going to Vegas. I go to Vegas. I play in the Scores First tournament.
Mm-hmm.
One that one there, I played in that one with everybody I played with in Ohio. So the downfall of that one is I got looks off of that one. I actually got some contracts off of that one, but it wasn't no money. So it's like I'm not taking these contracts, and I felt like I couldn't perform like how I really could perform because I'm playing with people that I've been playing with all together on the team. Where it's like now our coaches that we had from the team is coaching us in that in the showcase.
Right.
So now you got them coaches in the showcase. They trying to showcase the players that they really want to be seen. So they
Right.
trying to run the offense what we ran during the season, opposed to letting us go out there and really showcase our talents. So that one was for me. I feel like that was a subpar showcasing. Then literally, as soon as that one was over, I was in Vegas for a week. As soon as that one was over with, I went to the Eurobasket. Eurobasket. If anybody played basketball, know that you go to Eurobasket and check anybody's stats. If they say they play overseas, they say they play here, they play there. Eurobasket to tell you if they lying or they're telling the truth. Eurobasket literally is the Bible to overseas basketball.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. That's the rule book to everything. If somebody said they did this or they did that or they played here, you go to Eurobasket and pull it up, bro. You can't lie about that.
No, I'm about to go check some Euro baskets, man. There's a couple people
yeah,
that was talking about they played overseas, man.
Eurobasket tells it all, bro. It tells you somebody's whole bio, where they've been.
Tell them Hawaii ain't
Um,
overseas, man. That's
nah, man, you stupid.
no,
Yeah.
no, but
But
what I was about to say, numbers wise, like what's a good contract for overseas? Like, do they really pay?
yeah, I mean, the one thing that what I mean, like I said, I never did the overseas things. I never went. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like I had opportunities, and my opportunities I gave up because I wanted to be there for my son.
Most
So
definitely.
at the time I'm going through situations with my son's mom. We moved from Indiana to Ohio because I'm going to these showcases, and I'm like, look, I'm about to get a contract. I know I'm getting a contract. So I'm going through other situations. The Eurobasket camp, I actually got co-MVP at that camp. So
Wow.
I ended up doing really, really good at that one. So that literally helped me out. So I ended up signing to an agent, everything. So I'm like, I'm going overseas. Like once my contract hits, I don't care what the numbers is, I'm gone. Like everybody always like, Clyde should be pro. Clyde should be pro. So my mindset is like, I can get a contract for $5,000. Guess what I'm doing? I'm signing. So that way I can be like, I played pro ball. But then it came down to it's like, all right, I ended up going through like the little things I was going through with my son's mom. And it's like, all right, so now do I just be like, all right, I'm a professional basketball player? Or do I just stay here and say, I'm here for my son? My son became more important than me taking the contracts that I had. So out of the 3 contracts that I did have, and then I had a contract to go to China for a travel team and play against the teams in China and have an opportunity to make a team in China. That was the biggest one that I thought that could have got me the money I should have got. But I
Right.
ended up turning that down as well too because of my son. Like my son was more important. Like how I was with my father. Like I
Mhm.
always felt like my father should have been more for me. And I said when I had kids, I would be that. So I ended up turning everything down. My whole basketball dream and career of everything pretty much ended at that point in time because my son was more important.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable. You know what I mean? Because I always was like, man, what's going on next? What's going on next? Even though what I'm saying we didn't keep in contact like that over the years, I always would check up on you and different
For
players
sure.
to see what y'all was doing. You know what I mean? So that's crazy. You had a China invite or a contract to go over in China to make the team, And did they tell you the numbers wise what you were
No,
projected to get paid?
you
Or
wasn't gonna get paid nothing. With the travel team, it was no pay. It was really just an opportunity to showcase your talents in front of the coaches.
so
So
you had
it was
to pay yourself to get there.
no, they paid for the flight, they paid for that portion of it. Like
Okay.
all of that stuff was covered. You know, you had I think he was gonna pay for three meals a day, room and board,
Sushi.
things like that.
Right.
Man, come on, bro. So they paid for room and board and three meals, man, and that was that. You know what I mean? But nah, it was no numbers involved into that because he was giving you the opportunity to go over there to play to get an opportunity.
Right.
So he not talking numbers. He not talking about, hey, let me get you paid this, let me get you paid that. It was I can get you here to give you the opportunity to do what you got to do. So during the time he was talking to my agent, that was the conversation, that was communication, and I end up I was like maybe a day from signing the contract, bro, and I was gonna go. And then it got to the point where I ended up getting kicked out of my son's mom house, and that was my straw to tell me, nah, it ain't even worth going.
Right. Dang.
So
Yo, you had a journey. That's
for
crazy.
sure,
I didn't know 75% of that. None of that.
yeah, not too many people do, man. It's some things people speculate and just be like, all right, this is what happened to him,
You're right.
opposed to actually be like, hey, bro, what happened through the situation? Like I'm an open book, bro. Like anybody can ask me anything. I'm gonna be honest about it. You know what I mean? It's not to the point of fact where I got to lie or try to like build myself up. Like I understand where my downfalls was at, and I'm at the age about to be 35, 34. I understand how life is. I understand where I made my mistakes, and I'm able to live with them. You know what I mean? I'm able to
Yeah.
live with them without having to be like, all right, well, it was this person's fault, it was that person's fault. No, it was my fault. I can look in the mirror. I can
Right.
look in the mirror and physically tell myself, like, bro, you played 4 years of college basketball, but only played 2 years. Like,
At one
you
point,
made these mistakes in yourself.
at one point was you did you blame it on anybody else, or was it you like always it was me? I'm fucking up.
It was always me. I always took ownership, man. Like I
Right.
couldn't blame it on nobody. Like it was nobody else sitting in those classrooms with me.
Right.
It was nobody else not doing their homework. It was nobody else not caring about it. It was nobody else only focused on basketball. Nobody told me to do that but me. You know what I mean? So I always looked at myself in the mirror like, damn, you fucking up. Like you got to find a way to try to get this shit right. And until you do, like you needed something, some type of changing moment to make you realize that you can't keep doing this. And I
Right.
think what changed me was when my son was born. When my
Right.
son was born, that's when I really was like, all right, bro, you've set out of basketball for a year. You just got an opportunity again. You getting eligible again. You just a dumb motherfucker.
Right.
So at that point in time, it's like, look, your son's born. You got to be something better. You got to be better for your son. So I think once my son was born, I took life a little bit different because I had somebody else that was looking up to me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The way I always wanted to, I looked up to my pops, and hearing all how your pops is this, your pops is that, I always looked up to him. But then it's like when I looked up to him, it was like, all right, what the hell am I looking up to? And I didn't want my son to see me in that same light.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand, man. That's 100, man. That's 100. And you done with basketball. And I ask everybody at the end of what's the what's the plan now? So what do you want to do, or what do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done?
I mean, honestly, my legacy with sports is there.
Oh yeah, that's what I
It
was
is
gonna
what it
say.
is now.
Yeah,
It's no changing that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I lived the life I lived. I made my mistakes and I lived with them. But now, man, it's really when I was in Ohio, things was a little bit different. Like when I lived in Akron, I trained. Like my goal was to give back to the kids.
yeah.
Um, it's a couple kids like the kid Chris Livingston. I think he's number 3 player in the nation. LeBron shouts him out all the time. I train him. Like I trained Chris when
Oh
he was in
really?
5th grade. Yeah, I trained Chris when he was in 5th grade. He got a twin brother named Cordell. I stay in constant contact with his mom, his grandfather. His grandfather really is the one that orchestrates pretty much all of it. But I stay in contact with him. It's maybe 6 or 7 kids right now that's in college that I train from Ohio. It's kids that's about to be seniors now, that's about to be in college next year that I train. You know what I mean? So my goal when I was in Ohio was to give back, because when I played, everybody always questioned, why you ain't overseas? Why you ain't playing basketball here? Why you ain't playing basketball there? Everybody always questioned that. So there were so many people trying to leech on and be like, all right, well, let me get my son with him so my son could train with him. Like maybe he can give my son that gift. So I trained. My whole lifestyle in Ohio was training. I didn't really work when I was in Ohio because I had my own training business. Now, man, it's different for me now. Like living out here in Charlotte, like I'm really focused on just I got another kid now, so it's about entrepreneurship. Like within the next couple of years, I plan on having my own insurance business and open up a training facility to try to help kids out. So overall, I do want to get back into sports because that's overall where my heart is at.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
but in order to do it, you're not gonna have too many people that's gonna help you out. I don't have the name that I would have had if I'd have stayed on the right path. So
Okay.
since I don't have that name, now everything is just like fighting. I can't live off a childhood celebrity. Like you got to get past that at some point in time and realize who you are now. And I think right now is just really focus on working every day and make sure I can raise my two boys the best I can.
That's good, man. And getting it out the mud, and I think it's our responsibility to give back, and it'd be good for us to give back. Like I remember you mentioning earlier in the other interview that if the opportunity came, you would want to come back and coach Everett. You said Everett, right?
For sure.
Would it have to be Everett, or could it be Sexton?
Nah, it never could be Sexton, bro.
Could it be Eastern? No, no, because Eastern
Nah,
they got
man.
young coaches. Everett just got Trey Sean.
Yeah,
Um,
proud of that.
Eastern
That's
got my
that's a good
man's.
hire.
I forgot my man's name, but he a young cat too. He a good dude.
Yeah, nah. If I
Um,
go back, man, to Lansing and do anything in Lansing, bro, it'd always be Everett because I feel like that's my roots.
right.
That's where I came from. So it's like me helping out another school would be tough. You know what I mean? Granted, only way I would ever do that is if Everett didn't give me the opportunity.
Right.
But like I said, Trey Sean is a great hire for Everett, man. I think that's probably one of the best things that ever could have did.
Most definitely.
But me coming back, man, it had to be Everett. No questions asked. Like no
Waverly.
questions asked. No
Okay.
questions
If
asked.
they gave you the bread, you'd do it. Like I tell you
Nah,
that.
man.
They give
I
you the
would never come
suburb
back for
love.
it.
They give you the
I would never.
suburb love, man.
Hey,
I'm telling you, they're gonna give you a
honest.
little house. They're gonna have your little cookies in the front porch. Man, I'm telling you, you ain't gonna
No,
want to
I
go to
understand
Everett.
it.
Nah.
Nah,
But it would be good to give back, man. That's my plan. That's my 5-year plan. I had to get out of there because you got to leave your city,
for
and
sure.
for you to come back and help. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
just not gonna get the respect. It's that's like that for everybody. You're
for
just not
sure.
gonna get the love and the respect you you should in your own hometown, which is weird,
For
but
sure.
that's just how it is. That's how our people are. You just got to deal with it, and make a
Yeah.
way for this younger generation. So
That's
yeah,
that
man.
speaks that speaks to me. Never. I don't go home to this point now. Like I haven't since I left in 2006. I probably go home and visit for maybe 2 or 3 days when I'm there. Like
Yeah,
I don't go home. Like I
yeah,
hate
you
going
be
back
in and
home.
out. You be in and out for
Yeah,
real.
I've been gone. I've been gone for years, bro. And there's I tell everybody all the time. Like my mom and dad both went through cancer, and I didn't move back home. Like they both, of course, beat it. But it's like during the toughest time that I can deal with my parents both going through it at the same time. I still didn't make that move to move back home. Like I moving back to Lansing, bro. It really had to be me just want my son to play at Everett to do what I did. Get Everett the opportunity to win another state championship. When I got an opportunity to coach it, that'd be my only option that I ever could see myself moving back to Lansing.
What is it about home that is like, yo, I'm not going there. Like, forget it.
It's just Lansing all together, bro. Like
Yeah.
no matter what it is, bro. Like people who hated me in high school, there's still people who hate me now from something in high school or something that happened in high school or something just not wanting to like me because who I was in high school, opposed to just understanding who I am now, opposed to who I was then. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's just the hate of Lansing altogether just keeps me away from it. There's nothing going on in Lansing. I should say, best
Yeah.
way to say it. There's nothing positive for me to be like, all right, that's something that I can see myself being a part of. There's
Right.
no positivity. There's all negativity. People our age who graduated with us, they're not doing nothing. You know what I mean? At least to what I can see,
Yeah.
people that I watch all the time. It's drugs. It's chasing after females. Where it's like, bro, 34, 35 years old. All of us got kids now. Like, when do you step up and be like, all right, this street life or this life of doing this ain't made for me. It's time for me to be there for my kids. Like I don't see that within the people or the crowd of people that I know, or even the people that I did. I put it like this, and I was gonna make a post a couple of days ago. There's people who I did not like in high school who I root for more than people who you see come to my house every day.
That's crazy, bro. I never knew it was that. Like I said before, I never knew it was that much. hostility going on in our circles. Until, like I said, Mike explained it to me, and I'm like, yo, I never knew, everybody didn't like each other, because my relationship with everybody was, we joking, we playing sports, we
For
keep it
sure.
moving. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting on your nerves or nothing too much. Um, and then most of the time, it'd be about females and stuff like that,
Big time.
and it's just ridiculous, man. And I've been through it before with people back there, so I understand. I know, what I'm saying, what you're talking about, and it cut deep because these people we grew up with, and
Yeah.
then when they talking about you, or they disrespect you or cross you, it hit you hard. It hit you hard.
Big time.
Yeah, you be like, damn, we used to be cool.
Such and
But
such said that. Like,
right,
dang,
right.
bro.
That's
Like,
that's
you
my
was my man's.
man.
I don't
Yeah.
give you my shirt off my back. You don't wear my shirt for 3 days, and I
Spit
ain't
it
never
all over
asked
my
for it
crib. Right.
back.
And
Yeah. So it's
yeah, we remember that. I remember that. So yeah, man. Is there anything you would like to say to the kids, the youth, anybody, even the grown ups, man, to end it?
man, nah, just really just take home the life. We only get one life, bro. Like, you can't justify what you did in the past and who you are today. If you still the life of what you lived in the past now, like you still behind the ball.
Yeah,
Especially to the youth, what I mean, take life serious. Like, opportunities come, but they leave us at the same time. You know what I
right.
mean? When you have an opportunity, you put in position to have a chance to do something great with your life. Like, at that point in time, it's time to really lock in and take ownership. And you know what I mean? Don't blame everybody else. Like, those friends who your friends as at the time your friends may not be your friends when it's time for you to do something, because those friends that's your friends now are gonna be the ones that's gonna hold you back from actually succeeding. And we always look at it as like, I gotta stay with my day one. Sometimes your day ones could be your downfall.
Most definitely. And that's the word from Clyde McKinney Jr. Pierce Road legend, Lansing, Michigan legend, Everett legend. They're gonna be like, he on his nuts. as soon as they watch this interview, they're gonna be like, he's on his
definitely gonna say
nuts.
that.
Right. Get off you niggas. right. Hey,
He
scrap.
ain't do
That's
nothing.
all I gotta say, man.
Hey,
Nah.
first thing they're gonna say is he ain't do nothing after high school, so get off
Right.
his nuts. You
Right.
don't even know my story,
El
bro.
Hoover in the pros. Yeah, man. I already know how it is, man. But I'm glad you told it, man. That was an exclusive interview. Nobody else knew that. I didn't know that. Hopefully it helped somebody. And and we doing what we put here to do is to help the younger generation, man. And
Facts.
we can get on this another time. I want to get on another time with some other stuff, some other subjects, man. We can talk about picking your mate. I see, you be caking and stuff. So, people got to learn that stuff, man. You're a very romantical guy, man.
Oh man,
You be
come
having
on,
the
man.
flowers and all that. I said, where you get that from, man? Did he Google that? did he YouTube that?
Oh man, I lost my touch, man. I
Yeah.
lost my touch since I've been in my recent relationship. She always tell me like, man, you was a more romantic when we first met. It's like, look,
I'm in
get
here
a body
now.
bag. You
Right.
got a $4,000 ring on your hand. Like,
Right. You're
I
right.
ain't got to do all that no more.
Right.
But I do. I ain't gonna lie, I do, but I don't.
Right. Got your ass. But no, we gonna end this, man. Learn Life podcast, man, and we out.